Now, when Omnidesk reached out to us to test out the Omnidesk Pro 2020 edition, I immediately said yes. Now, the reason is because with the current situation and the increasing number of people working from home, the Omnidesk Pro, or any motorized standing desk, is really not just a luxury, but a legitimate consideration for a lot of people. And to my surprise, they didn't just send the Omnidesk Pro 2020, they also sent the Omnidesk Pro 2020 Pokemon Edition. Now, I actually intended to do a review of both tables because I actually thought they were going to be very similar, but I was so impressed with the attention to detail to the Pokemon Edition that I'm actually going to do a separate review on that, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that one as well. But anyway, once the Omnidesk Pro was here and it was assembled, I went into my room, I did some research to find out more about the features of the Omnidesk Pro, and by the time I got out, well, a certain someone swooped in and basically made the desk her own. So Omnidesk actually does have a pretty good range of standing desks. Although one of them, the Omnidesk Kenshi, is just a regular office desk. It's not really a standing one or a motorized one. But they even have one for kids, which is a motorized standing desk called the Mini Desk. So yes, my wife did take over the desk before I could do anything about it. But it turned out to be a good thing because honestly, she is an excellent example of someone who has been predominantly working in the office, transitioning to a more work from home scenario. And well, to put it simply, she absolutely loves it and she's been raving about it to her friends and family. First of all, the build quality of this Omnidesk Pro is phenomenal. I honestly did not expect the table to look and feel that solid. Of course, the flip side of something being built like a tank is that it's almost as heavy as one. So if you're looking to get this and you foresee yourself having to move this table frequently or even occasionally, I would highly recommend getting the additional caster wheels that you can add for the purchase. And speaking of configuration, yes, alright, so you do have a ton of customizability and additional accessories that you can add to your configuration. So before we carry on with the review, I'm just going to go through what I picked when I configured my desk. So I got the black frame coupled with a black desktop surface, and I got it in the large size. So there are 3 sizes. The smallest one is 48 by 30. The one that I got is 60 by 30 inches and the largest is 72 inches by 30 inches. So yeah, before you decide on the space, just do some measurements at home and make sure you get the right one. So for that desktop surface, I went with the signature Ergo curve with the black powder coat finish. Now that is absolutely one of my favorite features of this desk and is something that I would highly recommend. There is also a white and pink powder coat color available, but I think the black one looks the most premium and I think would age the best. Because if you think about it, the white and the pink powder coat is a lighter color, so it would probably stain a lot easier as well. Now the rest of the options that you have when you customize your table are basically accessories and not something that I would consider essential. But I basically got a power bar that can be mounted under the table. I got the Titus premium desk mat in large size, and I also got a cable management tray. Now both the power bar and the cable management tray, even though they are accessories, they're actually something that I would recommend as well. Because if you have a setup similar to my wife's where you have your laptop, you've got a docking station, you've got 2 monitors, that's I think about 4 or 5 different things that require power. If you have that power bar at the bottom, you can have all 5 plugged in directly under the table and you have a single plug going to the wall. And yes, like I said earlier, if you need to move the table around frequently, having just to disconnect 1 plug instead of like 4 or 5 or even more makes it a lot easier. And the cable management tray neatens up everything. Although with the sheer number of things plugging on the table, it wasn't quite enough for my wife and there was still a couple of things hanging out. Now the Omnidesk Pro 2020, the Wildwood Collection 2020, as well as the Omnidesk Zero, which is more of a budget option, all use a dual motor setup. Now the only difference is that the one in the Zero, they call it a 2-section dual motor system, whereas the Omnidesk Pro and the Omnidesk Wildwood Collection both use a 3-section dual motor system. Now I'm not entirely sure what that means, but what I can tell you is that the motor on the Omnidesk Pro is, well, great. Now it does make a slight higher pitched whirring sound when you raise or lower the table, but honestly for a motorized standing desk it is absolutely fine. It's definitely well within reason, not like the standing desk that I've used in my office that basically scream at you when you want to raise or lower the desk. And the movement of raising and lower the desk is really smooth as well. And yes, it did pass our water test with flying colors. And more importantly, no flying water. Now you do get a regular controller for the Omnidesk Pro. However, it's really good in the sense that you have 4 presets that allow you to sort of memorize 4 different levels. But not only that, they also have a feature where the screen on that controller actually dims. So it's really good in terms of number 1, saving power, and number 2, if you happen to have the Omnidesk Pro in your bedroom, which does happen, you don't have that light shining in your eyes when you're about to go to bed. Now, one thing to note, and it's not something that I'm going to fault Omnidesk for, is that if you intend to put a monitor mount on the Omnidesk Pro like I did for my wife, you do have to consider that the desk is actually pretty thin. It's not one of those thicker desks, so you gotta make sure that your mount can basically go all the way and clamp that desk. Mine actually wasn't enough, so I had to put like a piece of wood over just so that it would clamp it properly. Now do note that when you customize your desk, you do have the option to purchase the Arc Stealth monitor arms made by Prism Plus, and if they add it in, probably it's definitely going to be good enough. So in terms of price, my specific configuration came in at about 1,019 Singapore dollars. Now do note that that does include the price of delivery as well as assembly. Now actually there is an additional $80 for the assembly. So if you want to save that $80, you actually have the option to build it yourself, and if you do, then the delivery is actually free. However, having said that, and I have mentioned this a few times in my review of gaming chairs, now, I really think it's a bad idea to try and save $80 on a table that costs over $1,000. Because honestly, I don't want to save $80 after spending $1,000 just to save on delivery when I might potentially damage it. So if you can afford that extra $80, just get them to assemble it for you. Now at over $1,000, it is definitely not a budget option, alright? But if you do intend to work from home for the foreseeable future, it is actually a very worthwhile investment. Especially when Omnidesk now offers a whopping 7 years of warranty, right? Now, there's a catch. To get that full 7 years of warranty, you actually have to do something that Omnidesk calls a social media verification. Now, what I think that basically means is that you need to post a picture of your Omnidesk on social media. Now, honestly, that's a small price to pay, hardly a price at all. And if you think about it, a lot of us might put a picture up anyway. Now the Omnidesk has really impressed me, not just with the build quality, which is top notch, but also the attention to detail manifested in the sheer number of customizability and accessory options in your configuration. And with a whopping 7 years of warranty, the Omnidesk Pro 2020 is definitely a worthwhile investment and would be a great option to complete your work from home setup. Alright, so that about wraps up my review of the Omnidesk Pro. Now, if you like this video, you know what to do, and I would love it if you would subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications on our next video. I'm JP, and I'll see you real soon.